came up with the Midnight Rockers name?
I think, it took a minute because they gave us all kinds of crazy stuff. Verne Gagne was, Jesus Christ, I'm going to give you guys something original. You have to be American, something American. You're all American boys. How about the American Express? So that's a nice name, but that's a credit card. I don't think we can go with that. Jesus Christ, so shit, you kids. So what about U.S. Express? Well, I think Barry Windham and somebody was doing that in WWF. And now I did know of the WWF finally. Didn't know of them, which is really bad news, huh? But I think somebody's already using that. But Jesus Christ, you guys are going to be difficult. I can see that. Not really. I mean, how are you going to use the name American Express? And there's a credit card that's been established. And so we went through a couple of things, and I forget how, Curt Hennig basically was gave us the idea that the rocker thing. We were out partying. I think it was out in Vegas, and Vegas. When we fly in that day and do the TV tapings, we'd be done by 10:30, 11 o'clock. Flight would be the next day at 7 o'clock. There wasn't none of the boys that went to bed. I mean, it was straight up partying all night. But I remember Shawn and I were kind of just. I think we might have actually been tired on this one, and somebody made a comment like, "Guys, you guys are supposed to be y'all are party animals. What's happening?" Curt's like, "Oh, it ain't midnight yet. They don't even start till midnight." And then somehow that clicked, Midnight Rockin', Midnight Rockers. And somehow or another, that was where it happened. And we went to Verne. Remember, we said something to Verne about it. Rockers, Midnight Rockers. And he was thinking, rockers. Are they going to associate this with rocking chairs? Or you guys are, I mean, we're like, oh my God, this is the promoter. This is the promoter. And he's Midnight Rockers with that. Shawn assured him. Shawn has his own way of, getting his point across, and he assured him that nobody would mistake the Midnight Rockers for guys in wheelchairs, motorized wheelchairs coming out in the ring, which might be a decent gimmick. But I think that was basically how that happened. And then to that song, Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, Rockin' Till the Dawn. I mean, right after we'd figured out the Midnight Rocker thing, because Curt was like, "Hey, don't even start till midnight." That we heard that song, right after, perfect. I mean, it was almost like it was, one of those things with nature. It's, just perfect timing. We come up with this, and we hear that song right behind it, and it fits. And then, of course, that was our music, it's the whole time we were Midnight Rockers.
Was there any big differences in the work style or the fans between Central States and AWA?
Oh, God, the big difference was the amount of them. I mean, it was Central States. Of course, the Kiel Auditorium was always good. I mean, we got upwards of 15,000 or whatever sellout we was holding there. Because there would be some sellouts. I remember Ric Flair and Kerry Von Erich had some unbelievable 1 hour matches. Then too, Jimmy Garvin and who was it? And Chris Adams when they were doing the Battle of the Valets. That was another experience, that I had that was wild. Remember back when they were doing that, the Valets, they had Sunshine and Precious. And they had this particular night, I had a girl I was seeing at the time who had long blonde hair. Could be mistaken for either one of them. And Chris Adams and Garvin were doing the thing where it was the winner, the other, they got 5 minutes with the valet. The valets went at it. If Chris Adams won his valet, whatever, something to that effect. And one of the girls wasn't there. Let's just say it was Chris Adams' valet wasn't there. So, no, it would be the other way, Jim, because I think Chris was babyface. Jimmy Garvin's valet didn't show up. And Chris Adams, if Chris Adams won, his girl got 5 minutes in the ring with Precious. And damn it, if Pat O'Connor, I think was whoever was, they had Chris go over anyway, even though there was nobody there for the thing. And they left it at that. It was the last match, it was the main event. It was sold out, it was full. I mean, that was hot back then, that thing. And when Chris won, then now everybody's waiting for Sunshine to get 5 minutes with Precious. But they didn't explain anything. They didn't say she's out here. They just let the show go. And the people got hot and started rioting. And they were getting in the ring. They stormed the ring. this was like my first year in the business too, and I was seeing this, like thinking, wow, what have I gotten into? They destroyed the ring. They got in the ring, they tore the ropes down. I remember this one big girl. This was a big girl. They were beating the hell out of the guys, so they ripped her clothes off of her, and they pummeled her. They tore her clothes off and then beat the hell out of her. And then, like I said, they had the police with cars flying in, police dogs, riot squad thing. And then we were getting ready to leave, going out like one of the back doors, and they see my girl. They think it's the Sunshine or Preston, one of them. And they were going crazy, man. They were beating the hell out of the door where we're at. And it was like, man, I was scared to death because they were kicking, the door was like bending in all the time. The police got there. But, that was a hell of an experience. Like I said, the first year in the business, and thought I was about to get trampled to death. But the difference, other than the kill, though, the difference was the size of the crowds. When we first got there, too, the Road Warriors were there, Freebirds were there. I think they were the main. They were going at it, And Verne was losing people in the WWF, and he was losing control. And he was just losing his control of his own self. Really, he was panicking. He's seen his company dwindling away, and my first full tour. When I say full tour, it was like a 5-day run. It was Denver. Denver Auditorium was full. And it was a nice setup too. The way it was such a good arena for wrestling. The fans were right on top of the ring. The acoustics were unreal. Everybody had a good view. Everybody, the sound was everything. That was full. Salt Lake City was the next night. It was sold out. Went to Cow Palace. Wasn't quite sold out, but it was close. That's a huge place. And somewhere, where the heck else did we go that was pretty much full? Wherever it was those places were pretty much all sold out. But then, when Shawn got there, I will blame Shawn. They went in half. No, it was the Road Warriors. Right when Shawn got there, I've been telling him, like, brother, wait till you see all this. You ain't gonna believe it. When he gets there, the Road Warriors had just quit. So now we go around and everything was in half. It was half an auditorium at Denver, half the Salt Palace. The Cow Palace was about half. But that was still what we were used to. But Shawn thought I'd been lying to him. He was like, man, tell me there's sellouts everywhere. But the Road Warriors gone. Well, then the Freebirds left. And then it was that half went in half again. So now you got a quarter out of the arenas. Now it was almost like Central States. We made this big jump, and as soon as we get there, it just kind of fizzled out. But it was still. It was national exposure. It was ESPN. But the crowds were really. They loved it. AWA fans loved the wrestling, and they were easy to perform for. I think that Denver was my favorite. It was actually the Rockers, Midnight Rockers' favorite. They were. That was our town. And there was actually stories that I'll tell later too.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.